Our Handcuffs in Hallways investigation found cops are called on our youngest students thousands of times a year. Following that investigation, California lawmakers want to reduce unnecessary calls to police.
California investigative correspondent Julie Watts, she's joining us now to reveal the concerns on campus and Julie at the Capitol.
Yeah, guys, you know, our statewide investigation, Handcuffs in Hallways, it aired across California, and we found that cops were called to California elementary schools and middle school campuses more than 10,000 times in a single year. Some blame California law, and now they want it changed. But one powerful lawmaker could kill the bill before anyone ever gets a chance to vote.
They slammed his head to the floor. Officer, at least 3 times his size, pressed his neck down with the officer's knee on his neck and back. Just hard to watch that hair and know he was in pain.
We first introduced you to CB during our statewide Handcuffs in Hallways investigation back in 2022. CB's dad later sued his Riverside school district.
Only 70 pounds.
According to court records, this was the 4th time the 11-year-old with special needs was handcuffed at school. This time, it began when he refused to get up and walked to the principal's office after the school said he threw rocks on campus the day before.
Do you understand that you are going to the office?
Do you understand I'm not going?
Less than 90 seconds after sheriff's deputies walked into the classroom, they pulled him from his desk, pinned the child down, and handcuffed the boy. And while CB's case may be extreme, he's certainly not alone. Our CBS News analysis of U.S. Department of Education data revealed in California, police were called to K-8 campuses more than 10,000 times in a single year, but only 1 out of every 18 kids was actually arrested.
Does that tell you that police are being called for incidents that maybe don't warrant a police officer?
I wouldn't necessarily draw that conclusion.
John McGinnis gives expert testimony in cases of police misconduct. The former Sacramento sheriff and school resource officer says a law enforcement presence can help de-escalate a situation, but believes in some cases law enforcement is misused on school campuses.
There is a time to call in law enforcement, but school rules should be enforced by school authorities.
California state law currently requires school staff to notify law enforcement for a variety of student offenses or face a fine, which some say can lead to unnecessary calls to police for issues that may be better handled by counselors and trained staff. And our review of on-campus calls for cops revealed a combination of crimes and behavioral issues, including things like tardy mediation, inappropriate behavior, and disrupting school activities, which is technically a misdemeanor.
I appreciate the reporting because the reporting highlighted why we need legislation.
San Jose Assemblyman Ash Kalra points to study after study that shows negative early interactions with police can lead to increased bad behavior among kids.
Why would we want to criminalize being a child?
And at a time when law enforcement is understaffed, he says it's also a matter of public safety.
We're using valuable resources of having cops come to campuses thousands of times a year for very minor incidents.
So his bill would prevent students from being charged with a misdemeanor for disrupting school-related activities in their own district. And instead of requiring school staff to call police for a variety of reasons, he wants to authorize them to call police and remove the fine if they don't. Schools would still have to report any violations related to firearms or weapons under federal law.
And there are absolutely situations where you need to call the police to campus. What we're saying is you shouldn't have to do it every time there's a little incident on campus.
Now, Kalra introduced a similar bill last year, but what many people don't realize is that one person, a committee chair, has the power to quietly kill any bill in their committee before anyone ever gets a chance to vote.
They will not be heard today.
In this case, the Assembly Education Chair, Al Marasucci, simply chose not to schedule the bill for a hearing, and he could do it again. We're still waiting for an interview with Marasucci, but in a statement he said, "I had a number of concerns with last year's bill and offered amendments. We're currently reviewing the new version of the bill and continue to have concerns around the potential impact on school safety." Now, the California Teachers Association has not taken a stance, and there's no formal opposition to the current version of the bill, but some say they worry it could lead to crimes on campuses going underreported or put undue pressure on teachers to decide when to call police. Like most children who interact with cops on campus, deputies never actually arrested CB and he wasn't charged. A federal court later ordered his district to change its policies. But many, like CB's dad and Kalra, want to see changes statewide.